people of Middle-earth had a lot of fun hobbies. Hiking mountains, slogging through marshes, fighting orcs, running away from dragons, you know, a lot of good cardio. But what if they just want to sit down and play a board game? Did they have chess? The answer is yes, but it probably wasn't like our modern day chess. Just a warning, this video is going to get into the details of Tolkien material, so if you're not interested, you can skip to this timestamp. Okay, moving on. Let's start with some quotes from Return of the King. Gandalf and Pippin are in Minas Tirith talking about Sauron and the war. Gandalf says, "The board is set, the pieces are moving, but the enemy has the move and he is about to open his full game, and pawns are likely to see as much of it as any." Later on, Pippin is thinking and talking to himself, and he says, "A pawn, didn't Gandalf say?" Perhaps, but on the wrong chessboard. So that's it. Those are all the clues we get, but it probably wasn't like our modern day version. It was very likely an older version of chess. We're going to explore 2 points. We're going to talk about 1, the culture and technology of Middle-earth is roughly equivalent to Europe around 1000 AD, and then we're going to talk about the state of chess in Europe around 1000 AD, and we're going to map those 2 timelines together to arrive at what chess was probably like. For the first point, I'm building on the material of a previous video that points out that Middle-earth is intended to be a mythical prehistory of Europe. Let's unpack the cultural thing. The cultures of Middle-earth have stirrups and chainmail, which were started being used in Europe around the 6th century, but Middle-earth doesn't have the printing press, which was introduced to Europe around the 15th century. Other clues, such as the lack of plate armor, lead us to believe that culturally and technologically Middle-earth occurs roughly 1000 AD in Europe. Point number 2, let's talk about chess. Chess was imported from Arabia to Europe around the 9th century. Arabian chess looked like this. It had 64 squares, 32 pieces. Each player had 8 soldiers, 2 rooks, 2 horses, 2 elephants, 1 counselor, and 1 king. The soldiers would move 1 square forward, capture diagonally, and they promoted to a counselor when they reached the end of the board. Rooks would move horizontally and vertically any amount of squares. Horses would move in an L shape. Elephants jumped 2 squares diagonally. Counselor would move 1 square diagonally, and a king would move 1 square in any direction. When chess moved into Europe, Europeans made a few changes. Soldiers became pawns, horses became knights, elephants became bishops, and the counselor became a queen. But all the moves stayed the same. All the pieces moved the same way. Europeans also checkered the board, which made things a lot easier. So this is how chess was played around 1000 AD in Europe. It was in the 15th century in Spain that we get a lot of the modern rules that we're familiar with. Pawns can move 2 squares on the first move, pawns can capture en passant, we have castling, queens could move in every direction, and bishops could move freely along the diagonals. But those rules happened after the printing press, so that's way outside of the time frame that we're looking at. Also, the Staunton chess design, which everyone uses today, was designed in the 19th century in Spain, so that's also outside of our time frame. But that's an interesting question. What would chess sets look like in Middle-earth? Our best clue would be the Isle of Lewis chess set. These chess pieces were discovered in a grave on the Isle of Lewis just off the coast of Scotland and date back to around the 12th century. So that's pretty close to 1000 AD. Well, it's a lot closer than the Staunton chess design. But there is one problem. European chess has bishops, and Middle-earth definitely does not have bishops. So what could we use instead of bishops? Well, if you remember, Arabian chess had elephants. Middle-earth has elephants. They're called oliphants. So there we go. We have oliphants instead of bishops. Okay, to wrap it all up, here's my best speculation on what chess in Middle-earth would look like and play like. It would have these pieces that moved this way. It would have a checkered board like this, and the pieces would have this kind of aesthetic. Now, I'm sure that the different cultures in Middle-earth would design chess sets according to their preferences, but you know, this video gives us a place to start. And here's something that I would love. I would love to see people design a chess set based upon these rules and these pieces and make a video and send it to me. I would love to see that. Also, if you want to play chess, I will not back down from that challenge. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Hit the button, hit the bell. Catch you later.